Welcome. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the meaning and use of the biconditional. The biconditional expresses the truth function. These two sentences have the same truth value. That is, they are either both true or both false. Alternatively, it says these two sentences do not have different truth values. That is, it is not the case that one is true and the other is false. In regular English, the most common way of expressing this is if and only if. You could also say both of the following are true or neither is true. These things stand together. The following are equivalent. We have different ways of saying it. But the one that people most commonly refer to is if and only if. So let's look at a statement. We are safe if and only if you leave the door closed. Dictionary, S, we are safe. D, you leave the door closed. Translation, S, biconditional D. Remember, connectives express a truth function, and a truth function is a claim about which combinations of true and false sentences are possible and which ones are eliminated. The biconditional will eliminate the following. S is true and D is false. S is false and D is true. It leaves open the possibilities that S is true and D is true, or S is false and D is false. So it's saying the two sentences can't differ about whether they're true or false. They have to be the same, which leaves two possibilities open and eliminates the others. Here's another one. Suppose we're sitting around playing a game, and someone observes, Alice will win the game if and only if she rolls a 6. The dictionary, A, Alice wins the game. R, Alice rolls a 6. Translation, A, biconditional R. In terms of possibilities, this eliminates the possibility that A is true and R is false, or that A is false and R is true. It leaves open the possibilities that A is true and R is true, or A is false and R is false. If we put that in terms of their English equivalents, it leaves open the possibility that Alice rolls a 6 and wins the game. It eliminates the possibility that Alice does not roll a 6 and loses the game. But it leaves open the possibility that she rolls a 6 and loses the game, or that she does not roll it eliminates the possibility that Alice rolls a 6 and loses the game, or that she does not roll a 6 and wins the game. At this point, I have to give a warning. We run into the same problem with the biconditional that we ran into with the conditional. In regular English, if and only if means it is not the case that one is true and the other is false. There is a reason why it is not the case that one is true and the other is false. The biconditional only means it is not the case that one is true and the other is false. Let me give an example. The following English sentences are true. The white substance is table salt if and only if it is sodium chloride, because that's the chemical composition of sodium chloride. A feather and a steel ball will fall at the same rate if and only if they are in a vacuum. That is true. Okay. Let's look at it this way. If they're in a vacuum, right? Physics tells us they fall on the Earth, at least, they fall at 9.8 meters per second squared, and their mass does not matter. But if they're not in a vacuum, then steel balls aren't much affected by friction, air current, etc., so it will plummet straight to the ground, whereas the feather will float around through the air and slowly drift towards the ground. Okay. So these two things come together. Right? There's something about physics so that if you're in a vacuum, the feather and the steel ball fall at the same rate. If you're not in a vacuum, they fall in different rates. So those English sentences are true. But the following English sentences are false. France once had kings if and only if the Rams have won at least one Super Bowl. Einstein was an idiot if and only if Jacob Allfalter owns a Jaguar. Now those sentences are false. Why? Because the royalty of France has nothing to do with the Rams Super Bowl prospects. And Einstein's intelligence has nothing to do with my purchasing habits. But we run into this complication. If we're looking at the biconditional in propositional logic, not the English sentences, the following sentences are true. Dictionary. K, France once had kings. R, the Rams have won at least one Super Bowl. Translation, K biconditional R. Or dictionary. E, Einstein was an idiot. J, Jacob Affolter owns a Jaguar. Translation, E, biconditional J. Now, these are actually both true. Why? Because remember, they only express a truth function. They only make a statement about which combinations are true, or could be true or false. And as it turns out, France did once have kings, so K is true. The Rams have won at least one Super Bowl. They won it in 2000. So K biconditional R, right? Well, K is true, R is true. K biconditional R is true. On the other side, Einstein was an idiot. Jacob owns a Jaguar. Einstein was not an idiot, so E is false. I do not own a Jaguar. I own a nice little silver Mazda, which I'm happy with, but I definitely can't afford a Jaguar. So E is false, J is false. E biconditional J is false. The key point here is this. The biconditional is only there to express the truth function of the sentences, not to talk about the other implications. It's the same as with the conditional. The English sentences with if and only if say something more than just their truth function. But when we translate them, all we're trying to capture is the truth function. That's what I have to say about the biconditional. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me by email me or come see me in office hours.